Welcome back to Red Rocket Baseball. I know it's been a while since I've made a video. I think since the first week of the MLB season, but wife and I have had our first child, trying to figure out life and all that stuff, but that's enough about me. What we're going to do today is look at this upcoming trade deadline. We're 10 days away roughly, and I haven't made a video about it yet. I've got a lot of thoughts, a lot of predictions. Today, let's just focus on pitchers, starters, and relievers. We'll try and kind of fly through these because there's a lot of names. And let's just start with the biggest one, Tarik Skubal. He was hurt for a little bit. Turns out he is still Tarik Skubal. Like a 2.8 ERA, I think it is. He's on the losing Tigers team, expiring contract. He's gonna be a rental for whoever gets him. You're gonna need to overpay. Nobody's gonna mind overpaying because what you get back is Tarik Skubal. And Tigers, they keep doing this thing. We're gonna trade him. We're not gonna trade him. Trade him. There's no reason not to. You're not gonna win with him. He's not gonna resign. And what are you going to do? Be the Angels not trading away Shohei? Tell everyone, oh, well, we're getting a draft pick. Nobody cares. You can get 3 to 5 players that are going to reach higher levels than that draft pick will ever reach. My prediction, and this is purely my heart wants this, Milwaukee Brewers. Just the idea of him and Mizorowski teaming up, a playoff with them too, and Kyle Harrison. That's a hard trio to beat on any given night with the way Kyle Harrison's pitch, even though he's hurt, and hopefully he comes back the same he was. And I'm sure he will because the Brewers, they've got to be cheating the way they can turn players around like that. It's just insane. It's really impressive, and I wish my organization could do that. We don't. But they do have the means to get it done. It's going to be a bidding war between them and the Dodgers, I assume. And realistically, the Dodgers are going to get it done. But my heart tells me Milwaukee will find a way. That's what I want. Since we're talking about the Tigers, let's talk about Jack Flaherty. He's got a 4.5 ERA, 4.6. He's struggled this year. I know he hasn't been 100% healthy, but this is a veteran pitcher. How much is he going to bring in? How much value does he hold? I would assume it's not going to be one of these top teams that are actually contending, trading for him. I feel like it's going to be one of these teams like the Diamondbacks, like the Orioles, who are on a winning streak. Maybe Boston, if they do end up trading Sonny Gray, which after winning 15 straight before finally losing the second game of doubleheader yesterday, I doubt they're trading Sonny Gray. I bet they're going to talk themselves into being buyers, which I think is a mistake, but good for you guys. The Orioles, my official team, I'm going to go ahead and say the Cardinals. Cardinals are going to sell certain players, but they still want to get their young guys in the playoffs and get that experience in for them, which I support. So, go ahead, trade your Dustin May, get back Jack Flaherty, who hopefully comes back down to like a 3.7 ERA, and, just gets the job done. But Jack Flaherty back to the team that drafted him, St. Louis Cardinals. Since we brought up Dustin May, let's skip around a little bit on my notes here. Cardinals, you're in a spot where, yes, you can make the postseason. You're not going to win the World Series. Well, you are aware of that. But you're getting these young guys experience and everything. But I don't think Dustin May's going to stick around, although I don't see why he wouldn't. Kind of a resurgence of his career here. But it's funny, I'm talking about them trading him. In my notes, it says Dustin May stays, which I think would be great. And if he could stay and they could trade for Flaherty and make the postseason, perfect. But again, they're in a spot. Trading Dustin May would make you worse. Not trading him makes you a little bit dumb because there's a good chance he won't be here. But if he stays, he can stick around next year by re-signing, hopefully for a long-term deal, because he deserves it at this point. But since I have them getting Flaherty, I'll have Dustin May moving. I want to say the Diamondbacks, but would they move him to somebody that's also competing? Not sure. I think Dustin May in a Rangers uniform would look pretty good. So let's give him to Texas. Next name we're going to bring up is Foster Griffin from the Nationals. I mean, first off, what a story, right? I mean, he pitched one game in 2020, less than 2 innings. 2022, 6 starts, gets shelled practically all of them. 2022, 8.5 ERA. Then he goes to Japan, I think it was, for the last 4 years, comes back, and he's 11-2. I know we don't care about win-loss all that much, but 11-2 with a 2.68 ERA. Very impressive stuff. I love how he's pitched. I love watching him. Do I think it's going to be maintained? Probably not at this level, but I don't see him regressing that much. If I'm remembering correctly, he might be going through a little bit of a injury, but nothing major. He's going to come back. He's a real pitcher. And if you know ball and you watch him, he passes the eye test. His numbers are saying he is legit. I don't see why he can't keep doing this. I was going to say the Cubs, but they've made a couple moves already, and I think the Nationals are going to ask too much for them to want this, because I do have the Cubs getting a bigger pitcher later on. So now that kind of leaves me in a bad spot where I'm not 100% sure where he's going to go. But again, I don't see one of these top contending teams going for him. I think it's going to be one of the fringer teams. I'm just trying to think of... the Twins are telling everyone they're competing. I can see the Twins making a push for Foster Griffin so that they can trade Joe Ryan and tell everyone, hey, well, we still want to win. We still want to make this postseason. Although I think it's a mistake. Foster Griffin to the Minnesota Twins. Next up, I have Trevor Rogers getting traded. I think, although he has shown some struggles so far this year, he's still going to be a great pickup if any team trades for him. He hasn't been necessarily elite since coming back from injury this year, but he has definitely shown flashes, and as he gets healthier and gets back in the groove of everything, more and more, he has shown that he still has the stuff he has from last year. I mean, a 1.181 ERA last year. I know it wasn't necessarily a full season, close to half of a season. Insane stuff. We've seen flashes. Yeah. I see no reason a team like the Astros don't go after him. And although not an Astros fan by any means, he would do wonders for this rotation so far. I mean, besides Hunter Brown, who's coming back off injury, you don't have any real pitchers that you can trust. Peter Lambert's been pretty good, but do you trust Peter Lambert? I trust Rogers way more. And if you're gonna make that push, why not? Why not get Rogers back? I know I just gave them Foster Griffin, but I like the Rangers getting him because realistically, with Kumar, Jack Leiter being hurt, Mackenzie Gore has been struggling. I think Trevor Rogers fits in that lineup, but with Foster Griffin going there in my predictions, Houston, Trevor Rogers. This one is a little bit of a weirder one. Not the player, but the team I see him going to. I'm going to go Robbie Ray because he is as good as gone. There's no way he stays with the Giants. The Giants are going to have a fire sale. I see division rivals wanting him. Padres could do something with him. The Diamondbacks could really use him. I mean, I don't see the Giants making a divisional trade like that to the Padres, but this is again a little more with my heart than my brain. But well, I'd like to see the Reds go for him. I mean, make a soft push while selling pieces like JJ Bleday and just those type of guys, the rental pieces. But yeah, Cincinnati Reds. I mean, you put him in between Green and Burns, which is what Lodolo's supposed to do, but he's been struggling and fighting off an injury lately, so Joe Ryan, he's got to get traded, and I'll keep it short. Milwaukee gets the Scooble, Dodgers settle with Joe Ryan. I mean, they can't let their only real competition get away like that, and I say that, but Phillies are real competition in my mind, but we're focused on Milwaukee. So Dodgers lose out on Scooble, say screw it, Joe Ryan, welcome to Los Angeles. The Twins can accept restructuring, and I wish Byron Buxton would leave, but he's not going to. And then there's a couple of things that have changed since I made my notes, because I said the Angels will stay put because Artie Moreno hates the organization and he hates the fans. Demers and Soriano, who are both young enough to compete for years to come, will stay put. No matter how well they produce, it won't matter. Organizations has no competency. But apparently, the Angels are willing to trade them to Zach Neto as well. Which, if they can get job done for one of them, Zach Neto, I think that will set them up for the future in a real spot and actually start rebuilding for the first time ever. They just keep telling themselves they're competitive and then they miss the playoffs repeatedly. It's really embarrassing. But since I'm here, Reed Detmers, he's going to be the one that gets traded, let's be real. He gets the most back. He has 3 more years on his contract. If they could trade both, I love both of them. I have a soft spot for the Angels. But if they could trade both, great for organization. But who else? I mean, I think Tyler Bremer's going to be fine one day. Maybe that draft pick does go two-way player. Anyways, I'm kind of going off track here before I go on an Angels rant that nobody wants to hear about. Reed Detmers. I know the Cubs, there's reports that they're making a push for him right now and that he's their number 1 trade target. But, no, yeah, he's going to Chicago, but he's going South Side. Chicago White Sox, they're going to give up Billy Carlson and friends for Reed Detmers. And then the last name, starting pitcher-wise, I'll make note of is Freddie Peralta. I mean, the Mets are... I think the Angels are embarrassing. The Mets are spending money, and they're just as bad. I mean, I don't know. At least the Angels, they're they're bad because of they're just incompetent. I mean, the Mets are trying their best. The Angels hate baseball and they hate their own fans. The Mets just suck. They are trying their hardest and they're just not good enough. They weren't last year. Everyone that goes to the Mets, they just get worse apparently, except Juan Soto. That's because he is Juan Soto and a top 5 baseball player on the planet right now. I don't know, but anyways, Freddie Peralta. I mean, I figured every week, coming up to like a month ago, I kept telling myself, with this roster, the Mets are going to turn it around. Freddie's staying. And my fandom was begging them not to be good, and they're not. They didn't turn it around. They're trading away the biggest offseason move they made. Cubs got... my notes are deceiving me a little bit. I think they'll get Freddie Peralta. Chicago Cubs, they're going to miss out on Reed Detmers. They're not getting Joe Ryan. They're not getting Terry Kubel. You got to get the next big name, and although he seems to have regressed in every way, he's still a high-quality pitcher for the most part, and an actual defense behind him should help him significantly. They might give up something irresponsible, seeing the Brewers get somebody, the Dodgers get somebody, and trying to tell them and their fan base, hey, we are competitive. I originally had Foster Griffin also going to the Cubs, but I changed that around. So, yeah, Chicago Cubs, Freddie Peralta. And then, as I was making the notes for this video, the Brewers got Lance McCullers Jr., who could be a solid pickup. He has shown flashes being very good for that Astros organization. And the Brewers, they have Devil Magic. He could end up being very, very good. But please don't let this be your big move of the offseason, of the trade deadline. It can't be. Skubal. And if you miss out on him, then maybe you get Joe Ryan. Maybe you're the one to get Freddie Peralta back, but please don't. Anyways, let's move on to some relief pitchers. This is going to be pretty fast, except for one of them. Start off, Mason Miller. He's staying. He is. Look, I'm a Yankees fan, and these Yankee fans keep doing this thing where they're like, oh, who says no? We get Mason Miller, they get Lombard, Spencer Jones, LaGrange, and I'm like, why? Why give up our entire future for a closer? And I mean this respectfully because he's the best relief pitcher I've gotten to watch in person. Like, Rivera was before my time, Hoffman, like these greats, they were before me, and that is not the biggest need of the Yankees. The Padres are asking for a lot, which they should, because they gave up a lot to get him. But no team's going to meet their price, I don't think. And the Padres keep trying to tell themselves they're competitive year after year. Trading Mason Miller, you get less competitive. He is staying. Chapman, they need to apologize to me. Oh, no, you don't really have to. Nobody's going to apologize to you, man. We don't want to buy for what they're going to ask. I don't think many teams are going to want to buy for what the Red Sox are going to ask. Any team would be lucky to have Chapman. I don't mean to sound like a hater. He's elite. Oh, and he has been for 10 years practically. I mean, and it's hard because he's a true closer. And when I think of relief pitchers and who needs what, my initial thought is, wouldn't Chapman look great on the Phillies? But Johan Duran, I think they've committed to him as a closer. And are you really going to give up however much it's going to cost for some disdain in the locker room between Duran and Chapman and other guys getting brought into it, I'm sure. So I think that's a no-go. And it's fun. It's funny I say that because I think the Rays could really use him. It's not going to go interdivision. I'll put him on a team that still had a closer on the All-Star team. Interdivision, I'm going Tampa. They need a true closer. And my heart's telling me the Red Sox aren't going to sell because they have moved close to the wild card. Not selling would be a mistake. I truly think that, but baseball is more fun when they're in. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see it. Tampa Bay Rays. Aroldis Chapman. Since Sandy is not moving, despite my mind kind of changing on that a little bit, Anthony Bender has some nasty stuff, and he doesn't need the closer spot. Give him to a team that has the closer. Houston, they've got Josh Hader closing. Anthony Bender could... Sorry, my dog just loud. Give him to Houston. And then his teammate Pete Fairbanks hasn't looked all that impressive that year. You could probably buy him for cheap. This is a guy that if he's for cheap, why would you not want him? And I still think there's teams out there that see him as a closer. My notes, they has him going somewhere that I don't agree with anymore. I had him going to the Athletics. I say the Athletics are going to fight for a wild card spot. I don't fully believe that, but that is due to pitching. I'll stick to my guns. Pete Fairbanks, Athletics. Next up, Kenley Jansen. He's not going to cost much. He needs to get moved. They need to get what they can get, whatever that is, which is like a 45 rated prospect. Fine. He'll probably still want to close, and there's teams that's still gonna let him. Pirates. I'm gonna have the Pirates. I think they're still gonna look at him, and they're close enough to the playoff race, and they don't have a true closer. And as bad as Jensen's been lately, he's a closer. I don't see that changing. Mets relief pitching, especially Brooks Raley, AJ Minter, Luke Reaver, they get back some fair returns. They've all been pretty good. Some of the few bright spots. I'm not going to go specific teams getting which ones. Diamondbacks, I can see getting one of them. They are in desperate need of relief pitching. The Mariners, desperate need of relief pitching. And the Nationals, desperate need. I mean, they blew 3 games to the Yankees. They blew an 8-1 lead against the Phillies. There was another one that they blew like 2 games. They could be at like an extra 7 wins, 6 wins minimum if they had competent relief pitching. So that I'm sure they'll try and get better, get one of them. Final few, all in one go. Not huge names, but Drew Anderson, Kyle Finnegan, John Schreiber, Antonio Senzatela. They're all guys that are worth something, and any team that gets them, their bullpen gets better. Middle to late innings, they can have real impacts, but mostly just, our starter only went 5 because of pitch count. Put him in for the 6th, let our real guys do the rest. Dodgers, Yankees, Braves, Cubs, Phillies. These are the teams that's going to get these guys, in my opinion. I'm really hoping for a Hunter Goodman trade to the Yankees that involves Senzatela. That'd be great. I'd love that. But we'll get to that later. All of these guys are getting moved, and they're going to get something close to these guys. Like, they're getting something for them. Why not move them? They're on teams that need to move away. But that's all I got for you guys for the pitchers. I'm sure there's plenty more guys getting moved, plenty more names you guys would like to hear. I know some of these are pretty not thought out predictions. I promise. Some of them are just by the heart, and it's not necessarily realistic. But these are my plans. These are my biggest targets and predictions. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. Stay safe out there.